Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to Into the Cyber State. This is the premier public broadcaster Galactica network, the ultimate private identity stack for Web3. Welcome to the show, everyone. We are a decentralized layer 1 blockchain where we're attempting to reverse these parasitic business practices of the corporate-owned internet and return control of your data and its value from big tech companies and governments back to you. Right, guys, so if you're tired of the hype, if you believe in Web3's potential, you are in the right place. We're going to have a really good show today. We're going to be talking about Web3 gaming, how it integrates with AI, how we might increase like the immersion of our experiences in the digital landscape through blockchain technology. It's going to be a good show. Going to try and keep it to an hour if we can. If the conversation's too good, then it just is going to keep on rolling. We'll see how we go. Got a few people to say hello to, but first we're going to do a bit of a disclaimer. Very important to remember that myself, any team members up on the stage, CosmosHOSS, my co-host, anyone else up on the stage, we are your guides to navigating the cyberspace, but we are not your financial advisors. Our guest opinions are very much their own, and nothing said in this space constitutes financial or investment advice. With that being said, welcome to the stage, everyone. How you doing, Hoss? Missed you, man. What's up, dude?
Doing well, man. It's extremely hot out today, man. It's been hot. I was out there. I was like, "Yeah, damn." I usually never complain about the heat, but it's hot today, so I like being inside right now.
Oh, dude, it's I'm just glad you're not been part of this whole hurricane thing. That's pretty major, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to the beach this weekend, and like where I'm going, I looked at the weather forecast. It's kind of shit. It's like supposed to rain the whole time. Like, what's the point of going? You know what I mean? Like, if it's gonna rain all the time,
Well, if it's
but
raining, you know exactly what you need. You need some kind of log cabin and a nice roaring fire. That kind of holiday. That can be kind of sweet. But if it's just
yeah.
pouring down on a beach, then that kind of sucks.
Yeah, but I'll make the best of it. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't. There's no hurricane here, man. It's the weather's been really drastic this year, though. Like just in general, I don't remember it ever being this hot for so long, this early in the year, too. Like generally where I'm at, it's the hottest part of the year is like towards the end of this month and all of August. But like June was just scorching hot every day. It was scorching hot, and then it's just following through in July too. So. But yeah, it's and then like throughout the country too, like where we're at, I'm sure all over the place, but there's been just crazy like tornadoes and hurricanes and yeah,
I
man.
feel like the weather events have just got worse. Like I'm like I've never been a massive believer in global warming and stuff. Like I mean, I believe in the science of it. It's just that like I believe that nature has more of a hand in it or something. I don't know. I don't put that much attention, but in any case, it does feel like weather events are getting more drastic lately.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a big. I mean, I believe in it a little bit, but I also believe in like who's to say that we didn't have the same weather like 2,000 years ago at the same time? You know what I mean? Like it could have been just the same. Like no one knows. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I'm sure we don't do any good because if you think about it, even one thing that was remotely just obvious was like during COVID when everything was like shut down, how clean everything was, and like wildlife would just be roaming like the cities and shit. Like we had deer just like going through the city and the towns and stuff because there just wasn't any cars out really. So and everything's like animals don't really they don't litter, they don't kill the earth. You know what I mean? So but yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, man. I think it's in cycles. Like who's to say a couple years from now it's not a lot cooler this time of the year too. So that is what it is.
We'll see, man. We'll see. Right. Let's have a little word with Mike. How you doing, Mike? What's up, buddy? You're not going to steal any more clues,
Hello.
by the way. You're not going to get any more clues for the puzzle
Oh,
out. I'm
I had all
stealing
the
stuff.
I had all the clues I need today.
Yeah, man. Yeah. For anyone who's not aware,
Thank you.
you want to check out the puzzle channel because I may have dropped a hint. I'm not sure. I probably dropped quite a big hint actually.
Well, it's not just a hint. It's a major hint. It was a surprise.
Yeah, well, everyone was struggling. Everyone was struggling, and I needed to relieve some pressure. I feel like the pressure boiler of the puzzle rooms and the puzzle like the extra puzzle channel that everyone created. I feel like the pressure was getting too high, so we needed a bit of a release.
Yeah, you have to explain us sometime how this hint came out. You know?
Well, I got told to put it on Twitter, and I will put it on Twitter when I've got a moment. But I figured I'd give it to you guys first.
Okay, okay, okay.
All right. So how are you doing today, Mike? What's up with your day besides puzzle solving?
I'm fine. I'm most of the day struggling with a puzzle. The rest of the day I'm working. Uh, I just want to add about the weather you said. In my town, it's the hottest June I've ever experienced. I think the weather indeed changes drastically.
Yeah, man. Same where I am. I mean, most of Europe, I would say, has been like hit by like an early heat wave, like super dry, mad.
Yeah.
It's just been a bit like I swear the seasons have just changed. I don't want to make this a show about talking about the weather, but yeah, it's
Okay.
interesting.
Yes. Okay. Uh, Besides that, everything is okay.
Good to hear it, man. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. All right, everyone. Few things to get through. Obviously, first thing from the Galactica side, the cipher puzzle. We have just dropped a pretty major hint in the puzzle channel. So if you jump in there, you'll be one of the first to try and figure it out. That will probably be going public after this show when I've got time to paste it into Twitter. We've also got some new community events, which I am extremely bullish on, extremely excited about. So we are running a new community town hall every week. We're going to do that twice a week, in fact. So every Monday at 10 a.m. UTC and every Friday at 10 a.m. UTC, you guys are going to be able to join myself and various members of the team from C level all the way to tech, all of the team. You'll be able to join us for an AMA. You'll be able to join in on some quizzes, on some raids. You'll be able to develop the story of the Cipher State. You'll be able to do all sorts. And you'll also, obviously, if you join in these town halls, you will be able to be basically the first people who get alpha for Galactica, which I think is awesome. So yeah, if you are interested in learning more about Galactica, if you're interested maybe earning some rewards when they come up or any of the alpha stuff, just join us on, I believe it's Telegram on Monday. Telegram, so you can join us on Telegram voice chat on Monday at 10 a.m. UTC, and you can join us in the Town Hall channel on Discord on Friday at 10 a.m. UTC. So make sure you pop by. You will be learning an awful lot and getting a lot of value, hopefully. So yeah, please do join us. The first two have already happened. We kind of did them stealthily. We wanted to just see who would drop by naturally and organically. We managed to get about like 30 or 40 people dropping through on each one, which was really great. Just by dropping it in the chat and seeing who would pop by. That's awesome. So yeah, we'll be announcing the next ones far more thoroughly using X and all the other platforms we've got. So they'll probably be a lot bigger, but I'm very thankful to those people who turned up to the early ones. Okay, so on the news front, guys, it looks like BTC, I think almost all the news right now is pretty much concentrated on price. I'm kind of getting tired of the price talk myself. I don't know about you, Hoss, but it looks like it's getting a bit red right now.
Say the very beginning part of that.
I was just saying, it looks like most of the the news right now is concentrated on price talk, and it looks like BTC is getting quite red. But I'm getting quite tired with the price talk myself on the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking with my buddy earlier today about kind of like price, and I don't really like get too enamored with price, but I mean, all I did was pull up like Bitcoin's log from the last like 3 different cycles, and it's doing exactly the same that it has every other cycle. Like it just goes into this chop period where it's like technically, if you were a trader, you probably could just like trade the ranges. Like it goes down to like right here, it might get down to like 57-ish, and then it just goes back up to like 63, 64, and then it goes back down to the same, and it just keeps going sideways. Like it's just this like little range that it does. But you can look back at last cycle, the cycle before, the cycle before that. It does the same exact thing. And then generally at some point in this month it starts to go up, and then it's followed by like a really bullish trend. So I'm not saying it's going to happen again because everything's meant to be broken, right? Like history does not always repeats itself, but statistically, it's been doing the same exact thing. And I don't know. People are. It's kind of weird, this market, because like last time it was like people had more enthusiasm. This time, I don't know what it is. Like, I get it right now. People are kind of just tuned out. It's the summer. Like, if you're in America, like it's the 4th of July weekend and stuff like that. But just generally, it just seems like the only people that are doing well, like engagement wise, like from CT, from what I've gathered, is just people that shit talk, or they're just negative all the time, and I just don't have time for that. Sometimes the negative people have like some good points of views, but there's a some, like, that's literally all they talk about is just like negative stuff. And then you know and it's just it's weird how humans are, because like even when if the market gets, say 2 months from now, the market's like completely going, doing well, like these same people are going to be like real negative still. It's just a weird bunch. And yeah, people get so worried, but like, I don't know, it's already been to like 57K, 58K, like multiple times over the last like few months, and I think so. It's like whatever.
It's kind of a hang up, isn't it? I mean, I think everyone gets hung up on price. It's one of those things where like you kind of got to decide why you're here. If you're here for, you can be here for almost any reason or any combination of reasons. But when the prices are down, you've got to just realize, like, are you here for the profits, or are you here for the tech? Are you here for the vision? Are you here for the freedom? There's any number of reasons to be in this space, and not all of them are price. You just got to weigh them up and see how you feel about the prices.
Yeah, and yeah, like just to touch more a little bit on that, like I mean, even if you just like pulled up Bitcoin over the last like 90 days, like it hit low 60s back in April, then it hit 57, like mid 57s back in the beginning of May, and then it's like, then it's June, it's like kind of hovering around. It's like it'll probably go down and touch the same resistance it was, and then it'll go back into the low 60s. So it's like, I don't know, the people that complain about it, it's weird because like it seems like people complain about it, but you can short things, and you're allowed to do that. Like, or you can just, like, even if not financial advice, but people that trade, it's like you could just buy in, start buying in now, and then hope it goes back up into the mid 60s, and then sell, and then go back down. It's like it's been doing the same shit for like forever now, and it's just, I don't know. To me, I always look at everything as an opportunity. Like, there's always opportunities, even when the market's not doing real well. You just got to look for it, And but that I don't even like to really get into all that. I just look at everything long term. Like, I feel like everyone in this space is like really young for the most part. What I mean by young, like you probably still have like hopefully you still have at least 20, 30 years left in your life. So you still got a long time. It's like,
Can only hope, dude.
It's like Bitcoin's going to outlive all of us, most likely. So it's like, we got plenty of time. Like, why is everyone in a rush? I don't know, like, if it's a little bit younger generation than myself, but, the shit, it's just like, man, I remember all the tech, all these different technologies, literally all of them. They all had like really bad spurts, and then they went sideways, and then uncertainty, and then like, all these things. Just go pull up the stock market and look at any tech stock. Like, just go look at the history of it. Like, there was years where shit didn't do anything. It would just go sideways for like literally years. Maybe it goes up a couple percent, and then out of nowhere you get like Nvidia that just like goes from boom, boom, like Tesla, same thing, boom, like Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. Like, it's like, dude, we're chilling. Like, yeah, exactly your point though. Why are you here? It's cool to want to make money. Like, I mean, you got to pay bills and stuff like that. But if you're literally here and you're paycheck to paycheck, or you have all your money, all your eggs in this space, then yeah, dude, like you're gonna be miserable. Like, there's just no way around it, because no one knows. Like, you get everyone in here. Like, I'll be the first to say I don't know exactly what the market's going to do. I do know, for the most part, if you're here for a long run, you're probably going to be okay. Like, there's never guarantees, but like it's a calculated, assessment just based off of historical data. You're going to be okay. But if you're here like, oh shit, man, my rent's due, on the 15th of this month, and everything's in, some altcoin, so yeah, you're gonna be miserable. Like, there's this, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. That anxiety and all that annoyance and everything. I just, nah. Like, No, I'm not. Yeah. So I just feel like people are like in that spot, or they have this pipe dream that they're just gonna throw like $500 or $1,000 into some like meme coin or altcoin. It's gonna like 1,000x overnight, and then they're gonna be able to move from their parents' house or something. I don't know. But it's just not the way life is.
It's the dream, man. That's the absolute
It is
dream.
the dream.
Bloody hell, yeah. Yeah, guys. I mean, you're basically hedging. You're hedging your bets against like the system, I guess, with crypto, with all this stuff. It's like you've got the facts behind you. You've got fiat. Almost every single fiat currency that's ever existed has failed. You are investing in something that is possibly the hardest, most reliable possible asset that's ever been created. I would say that's a pretty good hedge. Like, even if everything goes well in the traditional legacy world, great, you're okay. As long as you don't put all your eggs in one basket and you diversify, you're perfectly fine. And you're just basically investing in complete freedom and autonomy and sovereignty with Web3. But if everything goes to hell in a handbasket, then you're doing well to have a hedge against the like legacy systems. So that's a good thing to do. Right, everyone. So I would love if you could drop into the bottom right hand corner of your screen, check out that little purple pill, give us a like and a retweet on the space. It would be absolutely amazing, hugely valuable to us. Pushes us in the algorithm and gets more information to more people. We always try and be educational on this space. Speaking of which, it would be awesome if anyone wants to come up and say hi on this speaker panel. You are more than welcome. We are a friendly space. We are not here to drag any information out of you. We just want to say hi sometimes. If you want to volunteer some information or your opinions, then you are welcome to. Mostly, we just want to get to know the community. So if you want to jump up and speak, just do a request. Happy to have you up and happy to speak to you. Okay, guys. I want to talk about games. I've been seeing this topic float to the surface a lot, recently. I don't know about you, Hoss, but I've been seeing it come up far more frequently than normal. And the Web3 gaming space is a strange one to me. It's a really interesting topic. And I've never been quite able to square the value prop of gaming on Web3, fully at least. So I'd love to get opinions. I'd love to get people's experiences, everything really. So first, I just want to know what are your favorite games? What do you play? Do you play any games, Hoss, on Web3 stuff?
Were you a big gamer?
I'm a big gamer. I used to be major into games. Not so much recently, but I used to love my games. I used to love my RPGs. It's just another world you can escape into. It's awesome.
It's so much fun. Yeah. I mean, shut up, dude. Not trying to flex or anything, but growing up, I think I played every video game system ever made, and at one point probably had them all. I wasn't really big into the PlayStation ordeal. I mean, I did have them, but I was more of a Microsoft guy, Xbox and all that. But Nintendo, all the way, Atari, Nintendo, all of them, all the way up through Segas, all the Segas, and yeah, I love gaming. I mean, honestly, I don't get a chance to game anymore. Gaming for me is playing chess on, chess.com on my freaking phone, playing chess against people. That's kind of my vision of gaming anymore, but I just don't have time. I did enjoy playing Fortnite and Modern Warfare and all those type of games, especially PC. PC gaming is so much fun. Going from the sticks to mouse and keyboard was day and night. If anyone hasn't ever done that transition and you have the opportunity, please do it. It's just mind blowing. It's so much more fun because
glorious, man. The amount of precision you gain.
Oh God, and it feels so rewarding. If you're sniping someone, and you go all the way across the map and you snipe them in the head, with the mouse and keyboard. It feels so rewarding as opposed to having the computer aim assist just do it for you, because it's you just flick and you can do flick shots and it's just a lot of fun. But as for tying this into what we're speaking about, I think there is opportunity for Web3 gaming. It would be more so on the marketplaces. All the thousands of dollars I probably spent on cosmetics and bullshit that literally doesn't make you any better at the game. It just makes it more customizable, so it's a better experience. It would be kind of cool to be able to sell those things. Like you technically can, like in Web 2, but you got to sell your entire account. It's kind of stupid. But yeah, it'd be kind of cool because like Fortnite, when it first came out, I actually even made some money playing Fortnite back in the day. But yeah, it would be kind of cool because even right now, I still can log into my Fortnite account, and I have like, well, I don't have any new ones, but I had every skin going up until like, I don't know, even probably about a year ago or so, a year and a half ago, I had like almost every single skin. So, you know, my account is probably worth something, or someone would value it. Like, hey, I'll buy that Travis Scott skin off you, or I'll buy that Eminem skin, or whatever, you know. And you can't do that, and you can't do that. But like in Web3, that would be a thing. You could just put those on in the market and be like, okay, yeah, I'll sell that to you for $20 or $100 or whatever, you know. And it's like you get your money back, and all that time and energy that I blew, you know, in that game, you kind of get some of that time back. It's like, okay, yeah, I made $1,000 because I sold a bunch of my skins, and then I could take that 1,000 and do whatever with it, you know. And I think that's what Web3 gaming will open up. I just don't think we have really the computational power yet to be able to do everything on game, like just or a decentralized system, so to speak, because it's just like so intensive. But
No doubt.
that would be
No doubt. I got you on that one. I've got a question for you after Hoss, but I just want to say hi to Chris B as he's just popped up on stage. How you doing, Chris? What's up, man?
Hey everyone, I'm doing great. I'm just listening to your talk about gaming, and then I thought I chime in maybe and give some opinions from my side. I'm
I'd
not
love to
a
hear it, man. Are you a
gamer.
big gamer, dude?
No, I'm not, but I'm an investor, and I'm an early investor in Xborg, which is kind of a spin-off from Swissborg, and they have. Shall I talk about it, or do you want to go back to
Nah, go on,
Hoss
man.
first?
Please.
Yeah, so they have a little bit, in a certain way, a similar idea. It's about identity and sovereignty. So if you're a gamer, then you get an identity which you can use in different games. So that's one part. The other part is that with Web3 gaming, you're not just like a gamer, but you're part of the game. So beforehand, so you had the producers of the games, and they made all the money, and the gamers spent hours and days and months gaming, but they didn't get anything for that. And now with Web3, we have like a new system that gamers also can earn. And when you combine that with Web3, with tokens and everything, so you can get token, for instance, when you when you play. So you earn something, but you also can decide on the game which direction it could take. And so we can think that further with when you're in one game, then maybe we can combine different games. So you have portals where you can go from one game to the other one. You keep your identity, and so on and so on.
That's really cool. I love that. I do like the idea of like interoperability between games, like blockchain as kind of an interoperability layer. I do like that. What do you think about the incentives for people though? Like, is the incentive there for like for game developers to let people out of their walled garden? Like, what do you think? What do you think of that? Do you think it requires like Web3 developers to actually like make Web3 games rather than like? Do you think maybe? I just don't know if Web2 developers, like traditional legacy developers, would let people out of their walled garden in that way.
You're asking me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, with Web3 and blockchain technology and so on, and like with the identity layers and identity protocols, you can combine that, and it's easy to transfer. You can, when you get like a skin or anything, or like a special whatever shield or chest plate or something like that, that could be an NFT, and then you also can trade those NFTs. So what CosmosHOSS was saying before, so he collected certain things and they have a value, and now you can decide you want to keep that or you want to sell that, but it's your own decision what you're doing with it. And so you could be a gamer and collect those things and keep them for yourself. You can be a gamer who gets tokens because you're part of that game, but you also can trade those things you have earned on the way. So, and with blockchain technology, you can easily solve that problem, which before would have been like more complicated to trade or to have a marketplace.
For sure. I mean, just actually giving people ownership of their like their stuff, their in-game items. I think that is major. I think that it really is major. Blockchain does a lot of things really well, but ownership and verification, like ownership and veracity, those are two absolutely major ones that I think it really opens up like a lot of use cases.
Exactly. Maybe you created an avatar, you earned some stuff with it, you collected some items with it, and then you can use that in other games. And when you have a certain level in one game, then you also can take that level in another game, so that you don't have to start from the very beginning or to be this newbie character, you know what I mean? So there are so many ways we can think of combined with Web3.
For sure, man. Absolutely. I've just got someone else up on stage. We got Sarah's. Oh, you know what? I always butcher your name. I'm going to call you Cesar. Can I call you Cesar? Is that okay? How you doing? Cesar Assam?
Oh, you know what? I always butcher your name. I'm going to call.
And I think we're using speakers as well, so it might be a bit of a feedback there. You know what? We'll jump over to Taro, see if you can fix your audio issues, and then we'll come back to you, Cesar. Okay? What's up, Taro?
Evening. Just wanted to chime in a bit on my opinion regarding just gaming. I might have a different take as well. Coming from the developer side, I think there are some things that blockchain do excel at, but I think some developers have implemented it the wrong way, I would say, just because of the fact that they're trying to use blockchain as a database. And because of the fact how blockchain works, of how everything's done and everything's immutable in a way. And so I've seen some developers do it the wrong way, where everything's on the blockchain, and if any mistake happens, I guess, in that blockchain, it's not reversible. So say, oh, I didn't want to transfer this item here. Oh, well,
Immutable
we can't do anything. I think it's the same mistakes that you learn as a kid, probably when you play video games. When, I don't know if some of you have played RuneScape, but someone says, "Oh, I'll trim your armor for free. Just drop it on the ground." And then you drop it on the ground and just take it off you. You know.
For that before, I genuinely did fall for that when I was a kid. I did. That was on WoW, not RuneScape, but I fell for it.
Yeah, I think it's the little small scams that happen when you're a kid that you learn the most from. I mean, it's maybe you spent, I don't know, 10 hours grinding that armor or something, and then, well, next thing you know, in mere seconds, you've lost it because you trusted someone online. But I do think that blockchain does have a use, in Web3 gaming. I think especially just identity. I think, for example, in Galactica, I think having a reputation, for example, I played game A and I cheated in the game, then your identity is linked to that. Another game can know, oh, this person has cheated, depending on, they can choose what they want to do. Oh, they've cheated on this game, then we won't allow you to play my game. Or, we'll take a close look onto that player, and if something suspicious happens, then, we'll put him on a suspicious list already in advance. So I think it does have this whole reputation aspect. I think it's definitely really helpful, because in today's world, what happens is just, I'll just create a new account, or I'll buy a new account just to continue cheating and ruin the experience for other players. So yeah, reputation definitely in Web3 gaming.
You just like completely cottoned on to my favorite use case. like
Yeah.
interoperable,
That's a-
decentralized reputation, dude. Sorry, go on, Hoss.
No, I was gonna say it'd be so good right now because, like, again, I don't get to play games much at all, if any. Maybe I will because it's the 4th tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. But one thing that's prevalent is I really enjoyed Call of Duty, but every single Call of Duty, I don't know if it's designed on purpose, not being conspiratorial, because they want you to buy the new one. And for anyone that plays like first person shooting games, they're all kind of the same, right? Like, they're all like, all it is different maps. It's kind of like the same style. Doesn't really get much different. But some of the games have like the movements a little bit better or whatever. It might be your favorite Call of Duty, and it's like every time they just let hackers go to town and they just ruin the game with, aim bots and wall hacks and everything else. But it would be super cool to just basically get that out of there. It's like, oh yeah, this person's a scumbag, and then they're just kind of like banned in like perpetuity. It's just like, oh yeah, the new Call of Duty comes out, well, this person's a dickhead, like they're banned, like the account's banned, the IP's banned, because it ruins the game. It's like you're playing, it's like you're just trying to have fun, right? And it's
You know
just
what?
like,
There's a flip side to that too. There's also a beneficial flip side in that blockchain is once you've got like real people on blockchain, like Galactica's trying to do. Once you've got that and you've got real governance, you can actually, like, if like a mistake is made, if something goes wrong in this like anti-cheat reputation system, then the community can come together and decide that was the wrong decision and reverse it through governance, rather than like just a faceless game company where you have to do endless tickets and all that kind of crap. And then do they just come back and say, no, sorry, decision final? You got like the entire community can come together and rescue an account kind of thing if there's a mistake made.
totally.
No, I think that's like I say, that is definitely one of my favorite use cases for damn sure. Like interoperable frameworks is exactly what like blockchain should be for like the underlying layer that powers like an awful lot of these new systems, gaming especially. So like, what are you like? Do you actually play any like games? Anyone on the stage? Do you actually play any of the Web3 games right now? Do you play them for like the game, or do you play them for the finance? Is a good question, I guess. And have you continued playing them? Is another one. Like, after you've like played it initially and maybe made a bag or something, have you actually continued playing the game? And in any case, what's up, Crypto Cash? Crypto Cash, how you doing? Welcome to the stage.
I don't. It's showing as a listener on mine. Maybe it's bugging out.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess I'll just chime in, even though I've been talking a lot about it. Yeah, it's just some games are just so much fun, man. Like, I literally built my computer. It was such an accident and got lucky. I built my PC. It was like, I, times were rough. So I was like buying parts over time, accumulating parts to finalize my build. And it was right before I think I got it done right before Christmas, literally right before COVID happened. And so I got that done, and then COVID happened, and then I got got laid off, and not laughing about it, but it was the first time I ever had any time. So I did a shitload of gaming, and that's how I got into crypto too, because I was just like, I got time to dick around. Let me look at this crypto stuff. And then, but anyways, like 6 months later, 7 months later or so, I tried to get those same parts and build my wife a computer, because she was playing at the time on like Xbox, and it was like I felt bad. It was like she'd be playing in the same games, and it's just like there's such a disadvantage. She got like the frame rate and everything else kind of zapped, and it's like, all right, well, let me try to build her a computer, and I could not get parts. Like, it was just like impossible, because all the miners were getting them. It was like couldn't get a CPU, couldn't get a GPU, I couldn't get
Now it's the
anything.
AI bros.
Yeah, now it's the AI people. It's like people are literally hoarding them. I think I spoke about this a few shows ago. It was right around consensus time, but yeah, like people are hoarding them hard. And the reason I know is because we had a booth for iChain, and so many people, at least 10 people, like throughout the, was it 2 or 3 day event? I can't remember if it was the 3 day event. They would come over, I think it was 3 days. They would come over and they would be trying to offer, their services. Like, hey, do you know anyone that needs like GPU usage? We can offer it at a discount rate. And it was just like, people are hoarding them hard, dude. Like, I was like, oh, how many you have? And they was like telling me. I was like, holy shit, like that's a lot of GPUs. So yeah, it's impossible to get. I would feel like eventually it has to teeter out, or maybe there's like a reach, maybe there's a retraction of them. And the video, you look at the video right now, it's like it's crazy. People are still buying it.
Eventually demand's going to outstrip supply, surely. Like, I can't see this going on for that much longer.
Yeah, I think we're in a bubble like right now. It kind of worries me, and then I just don't want that to happen, because then, sadly it's going to trickle into this market. But we have to be in a bubble. Like, yeah, it's cool to have that, but NVIDIA is always making better, more efficient cards anyway. So it's like, okay, you got all these cards now. Are they going to be as efficient in 3 years from now? So, you know what I mean? It's just like they control the market. AMD is their competitor too, but it's just insane, man. Like, what's cool though, like my computer, well, I guess moral of my story is it's actually, not financial advice, but it's almost like a good investment is like building a computer or having good hardware, because it really does retain its value. Like, I could probably sell my computer that I built for what I put into it, and it's used. It's crazy. And probably even maybe make some money on it. It's just like, it's incredible. It's like, it's so hard to get these parts. It's crazy to me.
And you know what? Like, this brings back into question this decentralization problem, because I don't know if everyone in the listed panel is like aware. First thing is, actually, if you can jump down to that purple pill and give us a like and a retweet on the space, that would be awesome. We're trying to provide value. Really appreciate it. Free for you. But secondly, just for everyone's reference, like, most of these chips, they're produced in so few places. Like, so few places. I think it's a ridiculous percentage of the chips that go into these GPUs come from Taiwan. Like, they almost all come from like TCMSC, TSCME, or whatever. It's an acronym. Taiwanese Semiconductor Corp. Like, a huge amount of the world's chips come from like essentially one mega plant in Taiwan. They've got almost a monopoly on this stuff, and then there's like one big plant in the Netherlands which does certain components, and a couple of mega factories that are just popping up in America now. The point is, it's a very, very small amount of points of failure in these things, and in Taiwan's case, very, very politically unstable, like geopolitically unstable. So, like, if there was ever an issue with Taiwan, then the world's kind of like these markets, these chip markets. I'm a little worried about that, to be honest. So yeah.
Yeah, scary. Yeah, to like have it all geographically located in the same location. Yeah, it's like the same thing if you have networks and all the validators are running, their nodes through a server in certain areas, right? It's like, it's kind of a thresh point. It's like, it's not really that decentralized, because what happens if something happens to that location, or, God forbid, like, we live in a world where crazy stuff's been happening. And, like, New York hasn't had an earthquake since like 1884. I was in New York for an earthquake. It's like, so it's like the world is just unsettled, right? It's like, you never know what's going to happen. And if you have all your validators, or, for a certain part that you need for a GPU, it's literally in some location, like, yeah, it's just insane, because if there's that political corruption or whatever's going on, you don't want the keys to be at one person. It's like, oh, they control the destiny for that. And as we know, for technology to keep going forward and progressing forward, like with AI and all that, there's that piece of what is that part anyways? I should know this, but like, what's the particle or the material that's used to make that part?
So it's like there's various things that you can only really get in in the Asian markets, and I think they're rare earth materials, things like that. They only really mine in significant quantities in Asia. But as far as like the actual chips that they produce in like these mega factories in Taiwan, that's like all of your pretty much everything that goes into a smartphone and everything that goes into a GPU comes out of that factory. Like it's absolutely nuts. If you look up Taiwanese Semiconductor Corp and just look at their figures and what percentage of the global chip market they have, you'd be worried.
Yeah, and I think it cost about like $10 or so for Apple to make an iPhone, and they sell it for well over $1,000, $2,000. So it just shows you, because it's like they control the supply. It's like, okay, well, what happens if they wanted to charge more? Like, what are you going to do? Like, what happens if they colluded with other people? It's like they can control the market, and the prices can go up, or if they become harder to get, right? Like, let's go down that rabbit hole and say that material dries up, or just that country is using that as like leverage, and we're just like dealing with this like negotiation. Then, yeah, it's crazy. That's why I'm saying, if you have hardware equipment, I feel like it's always good to just keep it. Like, you could probably use it at some point.
Like, I think I have 3 old graphics cards just in a drawer somewhere. I like.
Because
I'm a hoarder, I swear, but I don't know, you got to use them at some point.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like that, but it's just, because really, the phones that you have in your hand right now, everyone listening, or if you have it on your desk or wherever but it's like that phone is good enough to do everything, right? But like, they'll just keep pushing the envelope to make it a little bit quicker or faster or whatever. And they just keep doing it over and over and over, because it's, one, they want to make more money, but 2, it is a better product. But like, really, your phone that you have right now is good enough to do basically everything. It'll be good enough in 10 years to do basically whatever. And look at all the stuff we can do on it right now. It's pretty good. Like, but they'll keep pushing the envelope, and it's crazy, man. Like, that's what's insane about humans. Like, whether it's people have greed or whatever their cause are, people always keep pushing. So
it's a beautiful thing, man. The human race.
It is a
we
beautiful
are
thing.
freaking amazing animals. We really are.
We are.
I want to jump back onto topic a little bit. I realize that we've gone on a bit of a tangent. But first, Taro, are you a big gamer, mate? Like, I didn't actually ask. I was going to ask everyone, like, are you a big gamer? I didn't ask you, mate.
Yeah, definitely played a few games. I think for a lot of people, that's how they first discovered crypto, in a way. Crypto blockchains, I think, just, oh, I have a GPU. Oh, people are mining this. Oh, what is going on? And then, next step, well, I've discovered this whole world,
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, I must admit, I got swept up in the Decentraland stuff and like all the 2021 games that ended up being completely nothing. But they did make a bag. I mean, honestly, I made a bag, and I always end up selling like early to make sure that I get back at least my initial bag. So I made plenty from those games. But like most of the games that came out in 2021, they're dead as a doornail now. Like, as far as like actual active user base. This is one of the questions that I think I asked earlier, but like I was going to push in on, just trying to figure out is there like any Web3 game that you can think of that is like an actual good game, like a game that a normal person would pick up and play and actually like and just enjoy for the sake of its merits as a game. Like, I've actually played Shrapnel not long ago. I thought that was pretty good. That was a pretty good game, but I think all the like some of the Web3 stuff is just a bit too front and center for me. That might put some people off. I just want to know what people think.
Check out Illuvium.
Illuvium?
Yeah, it's on Epic.
What game is it? What kind of game is it?
It's like how do you explain it? It's like a metaverse, but it's also just, I don't know. It's something that I don't really like to play, like that style of game. I'm trying to think how to explain it. But it's like a big world, and you can explore, and you do shit. You can fight and do, like, they have all kind of different things on it.
A role-playing game, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a role-playing game, but the graphics are badass. Like, it's really good. Yeah, it's an it's an investment that I'm not doing pretty good at, because I bought a bunch of it, and it's like down bad compared to where I bought it. That's why that was one of my theses, is I'm just kind of like done with the whole like investing in gaming, because I understand it costs a lot of money. But if this one doesn't work, and it's really good, like, definitely check it out. If it doesn't work, I just don't know how like Web3 gaming is going to work at a mass scale, because it's on Epic. It's a good game. and they have like an economy behind it and everything else, and it's still top 150 per market cap, like, right? I think it's about like a $450 or $450 million market cap. It's not dead. It's just like, yeah, I was expecting it to like really flourish. I haven't done the work to see how many users are using it or not, like gaming on it and stuff, but I don't know. It's definitely a good game though, like from graphic wise, and it's all Web3. So
I'll take a look at that because that's a good like case study to keep an eye on for sure. When we were talking about like ownership and veracity and stuff, like I really want to try and figure out like how does AI fit into this? Like I've seen, you know what, some of the coolest things I've seen recently have been some of these AI powered NPCs, non-player characters. I love that concept. I really do. I think at some point, like maybe NPCs might have to be renamed if they're like powered by a sufficiently convincing artificial intelligence. Like these NPCs could become like some of the people or identities that we interact with most in our lives. It depends on how technology in the world goes. But if we start talking to these intelligences, these identities in our games or our like 3D environments, like virtual reality, whatever, and they become convincing enough, like you'll end up like a lot of people end up just staying in the virtual environments far more often, I think, and they become really interesting when you give them the power of blockchain. So if you can imagine like an artificial intelligence powered NPC that has its own abstracted wallet and can interact like financially with the whole financial system of the game, or maybe even the wider global financial system as like an NPC in a game. Like there's going to be some crazy stuff happening with artificial intelligence and like virtual experiences. I'm just kind of wondering, like, what do you guys think about AI? How it maybe might integrate with games, and whether you want to be going and meeting with AI powered Skyrim NPCs.
I think it has potential in the future, definitely. I'm just thinking, for example, if you're playing a role-playing game or I guess an MMO online or something, for example, if you have some sort of auction house, I guess, and all of it is handled by the NPC. So, for example, player A wants to sell, I don't know, his sword. He sends it over to that NPC in his own wallet, and then he puts it up for sale. And then the AI manages the sell, the whole auction thing. And this is all, I guess, it's an AI that's built of being an auction house seller. So handles all of that for you, and it makes the game more realistic. And then, well, once the auction ends, money goes to player A. Player B receives the sword, and then maybe the NPC itself receives a cut off of the deal, for example. And I think it is a double-edged sword in a way that, the game's more realistic, so as a player you're more immersed into the environment. But I think, as you mentioned, maybe some people just want to stay in that virtual world, and not sure if that's the best thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's these games can be addictive. They really can. Like it's when you're given an environment in which like all of your like fantasies, all of your like dreams can be fulfilled at the snap of your fingers. Where like the next dopamine rush is like a few seconds away, and where like your attention is always grabbed. It's truly addictive, like to the human brain. Really, like physiologically, it's addictive. There's like the whole video game addiction thing in Japan. I saw a documentary on that not long ago, and it's absolutely nuts. Like there are people who are literally living in game parlors, like who just will not leave. They sleep, like they'll sleep in the bathrooms if they have to, So yeah, I think that's definitely like the psychological and physiological effects of gaming are going to have to be something that's further researched like at speed, like with the rate of technological progression. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned on that front. but also just by the I'm very optimistic about the kind of technological primitives that we can introduce into games. Like we were talking earlier about like the reputation and identity, and I think that will be required. Like I think without reputation and identity, you can't really separate, like in these experiences, you can't separate humans from artificial identities. I think that's going to be one of the major factors that people will be thinking about when they're designing like virtual reality stuff that's based on blockchain, because you basically need like specified AI enclaves of like so just specific, like you have to be able to identify artificial identities, and you have to be able to identify humans, but you have to try and maintain you have to be able to try and maintain the rights and freedoms of both, whatever the hell that means for artificial identities, of course. But yeah, that's a whole other space right there. So have you guys played around with virtual reality yet? What was the other one? Augmented reality. Like, have you actually played with any of these goggles and shit yet before you?
I've messed with augmented reality back. Man, it was 2022 when I was at Permissionless. This older gentleman came up to me and was showing me his like augmented reality stuff he was working on. It was pretty cool, man. It was really cool. He would set like parameters. We were at like a booth and he was setting like the parameters for his like AI thing that he had. Like he had this like robot, and then he made it look like it was sitting on our desk, and then it was walking around our booth and stuff. It was like it was pretty dope, dude. And I just remember this guy because he was a lot older, and he was telling me his life about all the things that he's built, and he built a lot of cool shit, and he's well known within like the tech industry. I forget what his name was, but he was a cool dude. He was just showing me, he's like, I'm building this right now, and then it was kind of funny because he was talking about all the different chains that were in crypto, and he hated so many different things. He was just like going through the list of chains, and the things that he was talking about, he's like, it's garbage. He's like, it's centralized. Like, he was just like, he would be real honest. And then looking back on the things that he was predicting like everything right. So like, yeah, he was saying a lot of shit about a lot of projects that were like kind of just hype. He was saying vaporware. He was like, it's vaporware. And this guy had to be in his late 60s, maybe even early 70s when I was talking to him. So yeah, but it was really cool what he was doing. He was showing me some augmented reality about like being in a city and stuff, and like doing different tasks and making it more of an immersive thing. And he actually, I think he said he was the one that developed the, like when you turn on Apple and it'll have like the directions when you're walking in a city or whatever, and he did it. I don't know if it's out yet though, but it literally will show you like what the buildings look like, and you're like walking through and stuff. It's really cool what he was working on. So
That I am
very cool.
so bullish on, like just the augmented reality. Like I like the idea of virtual reality, and I actually did get the opportunity to play with like the Apple version of that when I was in a store once. It was actually really impressive. You have to like get it all fitted to your head. You have to do all this stuff, but when it's actually on you, it's incredible. And they do like the augmented thing really well. It's just the goggles themselves are enormous and they feel a bit like clunky. They feel very unnatural on your head. But some of these glasses and stuff that are coming up, like you can just wear them and they kind of look like normal glasses, almost like a bit chunky, but like almost normal glasses. And with those, like I can just imagine like one day very soon, you just walk around, you need to fix your engine in your car or something, and you just like open up the engine bay, you look at it, and suddenly you've got an overlay of like all the technical specifications, a
Yeah,
tutorial in the corner, everything.
that'll be super cool because basically everyone could be self-sustainable pretty much under any circumstance, because they could just do it for you, like not do it for you but show you how to do it, like almost do it for you. But all you got to do is just like have your eyeballs open, then just do it. Instead of like you going, there's this, instead of me going down to the mechanic and I want to pay, hundreds and hundreds of dollars, let me see if I could figure this out. Well, let me go on YouTube and see if someone put, some similar video, but instead it'll literally be like, it'll feel like the mechanic is with you doing it and just showing you, that'll be pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But again, I think when we get to that point, when we're like getting reliant on people in the digital landscape to that extent, we want to and I hate to say it, but like with artificial intelligence, like just everywhere now, and like I personally question the truth of almost everything now. I never, like, generally speaking, I never used to question the truth of things. Like you generally just got a feeling about something. It was, you kind of, even online, you were like, okay, this is probably true. It sounds about right. Now you just can't. You have to question absolutely everything, which is why I think like the back end of all these systems, like augmented reality experiences, virtual reality experiences, just straight up games, I think all of these systems need to be basically on a blockchain that supports real humans, like that supports verifiable humans. And supports trust, supports reputation. Because if you don't have that, then you've got a real problem in that you can't guarantee that you're not just dealing with false information, misinformation. But if you're also trying to deal with just like the Web2 version of that, where you're just dealing with like private companies who give you reputation, then it's not free. Like decentralization equals freedom, and it equals freedom for a good reason. If you're not using a decentralized backend, you're using a centralized one, then someone somewhere has the ability to turn you off. It has the ability to take away your rights and freedoms based on their own whims and desires and rules. So like a government could just say, oh, well, I don't like what you did on social media yesterday, so I'm going to take away your ability to spend money, or I'm going to take away your freedom. I'm going to take away some intrinsic aspect of yourself because you did something wrong, And
we seen how that was happening during COVID, right? Like a lot of people were losing a lot of things, whether they had a restaurant or whatever, or just hell, maybe they were like a really good content creator and they were just questioning aspects of COVID and they were getting shadow banned or blocked or whatever, banned. And then their livelihood may have been from social media or whatever. And it was just like some pimple faced teenager that, probably was brainwashed, since day one or in college or whatever, that you can't question this side of the party or whatever. They were just banning people, it was just like, it was crazy. And then to amplify that, yeah, if you could do that through AI now, that would be even scarier. It's like, oh yeah, because everything's digital, right? It's like, oh yeah, it's crazy to even think like that, but you can't just believe anything anymore. You have to question literally everything. It's like, oh yeah, especially if it comes from um, paid propaganda. I don't want to say propaganda, but paid outlets, right? It's like you turn a channel on, and how do those channels stay alive? How do they produce content? How are they doing all that? Because they have to have sponsors. And it's like, well, you don't think if a sponsor is giving them a lot of money, like say, pharmaceutical company or whatever, maybe that they are not going to allow you to oppose anything against that company because it's like they're paying their bills, and it's just like, people just don't think like that though. They just, I don't want to say people, I would say a lot of the older generations, they weren't, they didn't grow up with like that sort of questioning because like they didn't have technology, right? People could be on the news and say anything. They had to believe them because really there wasn't really any way to go fact check them or go dig into the research unless you were like a really determined nerd. And even that was still hard because you had to go to the library, you had to do all this stuff. So they were kind of,
the older generation will only get Sybil resistance and like the ability to be cloned once there are actual physical clones of actual human beings in the world. That's the only point that they'll understand it. Right now, it's like everyone who's on the digital space, who's grown up in the digital world, we're the only ones who understand that, like, you can literally have everything about yourself cloned and misused for like nefarious purposes online if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's just it's a crazy world, man, that we live in. Everything's digital, and the people that have all the financial wherewithal, they're generally the older generation that didn't grow up with all this, and then yeah, it's just they don't understand it. They just won't understand it, and that's why I was always bullish on crypto. And I'm getting out of hand a little bit here, but that's why I'm super long on bullish, because eventually those individuals are going to pass away, and younger people are just from day one, man. Especially younger ones, even now, like they're literally every day on an iPad, so they're just already basically a digital robot. So it's like they're going to understand all of this. Like crypto is going to just be the thing for them. They're not going to deal with antiquated fiat systems and all this other stuff. So it's like that was back to our early point about the price and stuff. I'm just super long because I think everything's going to be autonomous. Even driving, like I said, a bunch. It already kind of is. Like Tesla's like leading on the charge in it, but I think the data is going to show like, hey, we should not allow humans to drive anymore unless it's like a specialized location or whatever, because the death rates and just the damage and all the fatalities and everything, just let's get rid of that when we know this autonomous driver has no feelings. It has 1,000 eyeballs. It doesn't get tired. It knows how to read the roads. It knows the roads ahead. It knows everything. So like, and it can communicate with all the other vehicles. So this is going to be safer, and more efficient for humans too, because now they can, do other tasks instead of worrying about driving and all these other things. So it's like it's going to happen, right? I think it's going to happen. I think everything's going to be autonomous and all of it. So I bring it on though. I'm open minded. I know there's a lot of people that don't want that, and I can understand their point too. But it's just like, whether you want it to happen or not, it's going to happen. I mean, that, like we were talking about earlier about humans, they always push the envelope. Like, why does Elon want to land stuff on Mars and maybe go beyond that, right? It's because that's just like we always want to know the unknown. So
100%, man. Let's say like we as a species, like if you were born human, you are a lucky person. Like you're a lucky animal. It's an incredible privilege to be born human. Like in this universe, who like may have other life in it, may not. Who knows? Like just the fact that we know that we're here and we're free thinking and we are sentient. Like that's absolutely mad to me. I absolutely just never take for granted just the being human. Right, guys. I want to just answer a couple of questions that we've been asked in Discord. So let's take a little look. We got Zav Hendricks, who was in Team Azimuth during the tournament, representing Azimuth. Well done. Galactica wants to set up a nation in the Web3 world. That means it has citizens. So what role will the citizens play? What form will governance take? And will citizens be able to make proposals on ecosystem choices and strategy? Wow, cool question. Okay, so on Galactica, citizens are everything. So citizens basically they own the protocol. They have they're the only ones who have governance rights, and yeah, they're basically they're everything. The Galactica itself is essentially an on-chain sovereign nation. So everything that, every right and every privilege and everything that a citizen has in real life, you'll have, and then some in Galactica as a citizen. That means you'll have the governance rights. You'll have the right to a universal basic income, which is paid for by the protocol. So if you're a citizen of Galactica, you will get payments, whether it's every month or every whatever time period the payments are made. You will get you're like a regular, consistent airdrop for being a citizen. You'll have the right to run a validator. You'll have all sorts of extra rights and responsibilities that will come up during your time as a citizen. So, like I say, it's a legitimate citizenship. That's what we'd like to think of it. We want to be able to enable digital nomads to have like actual physical rights in the real world to travel where they like to certain places where they allow for nomad visas through your Galactica citizenship. pretty much every single benefit that we can put into a citizenship, we will. So that's one thing. As far as like what form the governance system takes, it's a meritocratic system for Galactica itself and the protocol, which means that it will take the form of like certain aspects of the Swiss system, and it will also take into account your reputation. It will also take into account certain educational credentials that can be verified on chain for like governance weights. So if, for example, a protocol vote came up that involved some kind of scientific input, then someone who could verify that they were qualified in that scientific field would gain extra governance weight. So it's a very complex system, like extremely complex. We're currently just about to bring up the reputation systems on the testnet. I say just about. We're looking. That's going to be the next thing on the testnet, anyway. And then after that, we'll be bringing on the governance systems. So if you're interested in that stuff, I would highly recommend getting involved in the testnet. You will be the first to know exactly how all this stuff is going to work. So thank you for the question, Sav Hendricks. That's a really, really good one. And then what else do we have here? We have OptiMusic. Let's see. Is the upcoming Galactica passport similar to Galaxy or Gitcoin passports? Will it offer advantages over those passports? Are you working on integrating your passport into other project systems? Yes to everything. That's pretty much, I think I just pretty much answered that in my last answer, so I won't go over it again. But yes, so the Galactica passport is just like the physical extension of your citizenship. It's the practical owned item, and it will, like, you'll be able to get one in your wallet. So you'll have a GNC, you'll have a passport in your wallet. You will also, and it will basically be an interface as well. So you'll have the Galactica passport will be your UX, which will allow you to like keep track of all your reputation points. It will be a gamified system in which you can just gain XP and more reputation points for doing certain actions. It's going to be a really, really interesting system on the passport. But yeah, other than that, it's all the benefits of citizenship. So it's like the representation of citizenship. And finally, from Bronstylicious. I love that name, Bronstylicious. Bronstylicious. Do you already have partners in the sector of gaming or AI that you'll announce soon? Do you plan to collaborate with Xborg? Can you tell us if Galactica is actually proposals from other partners from Web3 that want to use the technology? Okay, cool questions. So, do we already have partners in the sector of gaming or AI? Yes, we already have partners in AI and gaming. Not that we can announce. Zama is working on various AI things as well as on FHE, but we also have a couple of people in the background who we've been talking to. There will be more information on all partnerships coming as we finalize. So just keep an eye out on those. Do you plan to collaborate with Xborg? We would love to. We are not currently, as far as I'm aware, in talks with Xborg, but we will. I will gladly have a chat with Xborg and see how we can do things with them. Can you tell us if Galactica has any proposals from other partners? Yes, but I can't tell you who. So I mentioned this a couple of times on the new town hall meetings that we've been doing, and we've got some really, really big players who are basically fighting over us right now. It's a good place to be, but we can't tell you exactly who right now. So thank you for the questions, Ron Delicious. I really hope that helped and we were able to answer your questions well. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for today, everyone. I have absolutely freaking loved. Ooh, where am I? Am I still saying things? Okay, be honest now. How long was I gone?
Well, I mean, I thought it was just me because I seen someone put an emoji in the chat. That's why I backed out. But I guess it wasn't just me, or it was me. It wasn't me. It was you. I thought because it was weird because as simultaneously as that happened, my internet like buffered. Like I was on my PC and something was taking a little bit longer to load than it should have.
Maybe I
And I'm
can
like,
bring you in.
I was like, oh, it must be me. And then 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 was you then. All right.
Cool. Okay, I have no idea where I cut out there, guys. I really apologize. I was just trying to answer
You
some
were
questions from Discord. Don't know how far I got at all.
Yeah, the last thing that I heard, you were like talking about partners, and then you were saying you can't say everything, and it's a good problem. Literally, the last thing I heard something that you said was, I think that you were going to say it's a good problem to have or a great problem to have, and then it just cut out.
Oh, cool. I didn't log off. I didn't get disconnected too far away from the end then. I don't know if you actually heard the last part, which is probably the most important, but we've been being fought over by a couple of really, really big players in Web3. That will come to light very soon. Really looking forward to announce that. More than one, plural. It's going to be a good time. Just look out for the announcements in the next few weeks, guys. It's going to be absolutely nuts. So thank you for believing in us all this time, everyone, because the community makes the project. So look forward to that. Right then, everyone. So this has been an absolutely amazing space. Apologies for magically disappearing there for a moment, but I've really enjoyed the conversation. There's obviously an awful lot to be said about this particular topic, and there are loads of subtopics and niches that we can go into as well. But I've just really enjoyed talking about the limited amount that we can in one space. So thank you. And if you've enjoyed the content, if you've enjoyed the value of what you've been listening to, just drop into the comments and give us a like and a retweet, because it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us immeasurably. Even at this point in the space, once we've got a like and a retweet from you guys, it boosts us in the algorithm and it gets the recording out to people. So even people who don't get to listen to us live can listen to the replay. Like, generally speaking, we actually get more people listening to the replay nowadays than we get listening live, which is an awesome feeling because it means people are coming back with value, and I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I think that I'm the same way in general. I think one, it's your time, the time of it. Whenever maybe it doesn't suit people, but the style is more podcast format anyway, so it doesn't. It's cool. We want you to be live, right? Because you can interact with us and gives us a little bit more motivation too, seeing there's some people listening to us live, but no, I think it's all good, and I appreciate everyone that always tunes in and listens to recordings, asks questions, getting involved. It's cool to see the Discord. I don't get a lot of opportunities to check out the Discord, but I was lurking around a little bit today for about 10-15 minutes. It was cool to see all the engagement and the excitement and things like that from actual real humans. So anyways, I digress.
No, man, no, I completely agree. And you should check out the puzzle channel if you ever get the chance, just to see how how people have just dived right in and gone so deep into the puzzle. Like our co-founder Mike Savadaya, and his crack team of puzzle engineers have really made something quite special. And yeah, it's taken a long time to get to where we are. From when we actually introduced the puzzle. For anyone who's still on the puzzle, which is a lot of you, I imagine, a new kind of tease may have just been leaked in the puzzle channel. Definitely check that out. It may well help you get along and maybe finalize all your hard work and efforts, because we realized that it's been a bit of a while since people have been stuck for a little bit on one of the pieces, so we thought we'd just give it a little nudge. Thank you for everyone who's been involved on the puzzle. It's been a really, really great experience. Okay, everyone. Well, you have been listening to Into the Cyberstate, everyone. Mike, do you want to have a final word before we actually disappear?
Not something in particular. Just it was a nice talk again. I don't know.
It's okay. It's just good to have you up.
Sorry.
It's good to have you up, dude. No, I love you, man. You're a good dude, good human, and I like good humans.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So you can find us every Wednesday. You can find us here every single Wednesday, reliably 8 o'clock UTC. It's always a good time. We always try and change up the topics, change up the style a little bit sometimes, just to try and give as much value as we possibly can on a weekly podcast. So we really thank you for just listening to us, for taking the time out of your day to come and learn something or to provide insights to us. It's always absolutely amazing, and honestly, it's a pleasure to host this show. I know Hoss feels the same. It's just a wonderful experience to again, like Hoss said, just interact with real human beings who are trying to build something that will help other real human beings. So join us next week. Join us on the town halls. So you've got one next Monday. You'll have one on Telegram on Monday. You'll also have one this Friday, in fact, on Discord. So join us on the Town Hall channel, 10 a.m. on Friday in the Discord channel to find out more about Galactica. Maybe have a quiz this time. Not sure. We'll find out. Thanks for coming, everyone. Really appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you very much for joining us. See you all next Wednesday.